Throwback, we are having a look at the NECA Toys Friday the 13th Part 3D Battle Damaged Jason Voorhees. We had a look at the Friday the 13th regular Jason Voorhees from Part 3, or Part 3D as other people have referred to it as. I want to have a look at these throwbacks once again, as these are still some of my personal favorite figures. Truthfully, still more a fan of the Part 4 Jason. I think overall the design of him made him the perfect figure, but that's not really wanting to take anything away from Part 3. The Part 3, more notably, is the Jason that has the very large upper torso. In fact, it looks very poofy in the movie, and I think the figure here has translated that well. There are a few areas, unfortunately, on the battle damage Jason where you can see this rubber torso that's been added on top of the body. It has gotten a little warped in time, and I might have to just take a little bit of hot water and try to manipulate that back into place so it just isn't as predominant. It is, though, the battle damage Jason is pretty much the exact same figure as the regular version. Well, that's not 100% true. It is almost the exact same figure until we start looking at the face. Body-wise, though, it is, yes, the same figure, although just a little bit extra blood. More of the blood covered over the shirt, whereas the original version did not have that, and a lot more blood when we have a look at the face. Other than that, though, it's the exact same figure. From head to toe, same, well, neck to toe, same figure. Moving him to the side, his accessories, whereas the original Jason came with a harpoon gun and a machete. This particular Jason, however, comes with a machete, although more bloodied version of the same machete. And this one also comes with an axe, which plays a pivotal role in the movie. The blood is very nice. It's not a very fake-looking blood that sometimes action figures tend to go with. It's not very bright. It's almost more of a darker red, which I think lends itself perfectly to the axe as well as the machete. So as it stands, as again Spot had mentioned, it's the same, really it's the same figure until you get to the face. One notable feature, I guess, would be the mask. And again, I'm not crazy, to be honest, when it comes to this particular mask. Normally, NECA has done an exceptional job when it comes to their Friday the 13th properties, especially when we've looked at the retro cloth figures. But I find there's just something about this particular mask that I just never was crazy about. And I think it's because the eyes aren't the same level. This one eye is a little higher, or the eye hole is a little higher than this eye is. This one's a little bit lower. And maybe that's what's offsetting the rest of the figure. When you compare it to the original Jason, this one almost starts looking a little bit better when we look at the comparisons between the two. It really should be theoretically the same mask, other than this one just has the gash at the top there. It should be the same figure mask, and yet for some reason this one looks a little more... It looks like it's a little bit more narrow at the bottom as opposed to being more oval, if that makes any sense. Other than that, though, other than the gash as well, it's the same mask, or really should be the same mask. Let's go ahead and take the mask off as we've done with the other Jason. This one comes off actually a little bit easier. And there's the mask right there. It's a soft rubber, which also helps with the manipulation. And you know what I might end up doing? I'll just put Jason right here for a second. Get him to hopefully stand. What I might end up ultimately doing, maybe what I might ultimately do, other than pick Jason up, is I might find a way to maybe warm this up a little bit that I can stretch the mask out. I think maybe just over the course of time, because this also has been rubber, that it wants to mold itself maybe more around Jason's face, that ends up giving him a more narrow mask. But I want to just try to find a way to widen that so it can get it back to its original shape. There's the back of it as well. Okay, so let's pick up Jason. I didn't think he was going to fall, but... So there's the mask, there's his face. And it's slightly different. In fact, let's go ahead and take the mask off the other Jason. Something else I want to touch base on, I'll touch base on it in a second. There's the two faces. It is different. Other than, yes, a big gash in his head. It is a different face sculpt as well. The eyes are roughly about the same, but it's the mouth that distinguishes this figure or separates this figure from this figure here. And that's what I really like about it. It's not just simply, let's take this face and add a lot of blood to it, bada bing, bada boom, you've got yourself a brand new figure. No, they actually did sculpt the mouth on it, so I like that. What you can also do too with the head, oh, I'm so sorry, Jason, is that you can actually take the axe and it fits into that slot. It doesn't fit in well, mind you, and the mask kind of does a better job of holding everything in place. But the axe, if you can get it just right, does fit into that groove. Again, it's not the easiest, but it does actually fit in there. Not the best, though. I really like the face, and what I normally do with this particular Jason, a lot of times I might just display him unmasked. Or what you can also do, too, is you can take the mask and you can have it up. Although it's not quite accurate to the movie, because he kind of gets the gash later on. But you can have the mask up as if he's pulling himself off from the noose. Or you can also do that too with the other Jason as well. So I might end up just displaying him, as I've done in the past, displaying him unmasked. And just leave it to the side. You know, one thing to note though, and I wanted to remind myself doing this because I don't think I mentioned this in the initial review. This particular mask, talking just briefly about how I have to just heat it. It's interesting to note that this mask is rubber. Wow, Spot, that's fantastic. No, I'm getting to a point, don't worry. This is a very soft rubber. So in fact, I can actually squish it, I can manipulate it. The reason why I say that is you look at the other Jason mask. The other Jason mask, I'm not even going to try to squeeze it. It's plastic. It's a hard plastic. Thin, yes, but it's a hard plastic. This one, on the other hand, is rubber. I don't know why they switched. I don't know why they switched materials. Why they didn't just simply take this mask and just put a gash in it and get this mask here. Instead, this is a soft rubber. I don't really know why, to be honest, why they didn't just simply keep the same mask. And if you are wondering, you can take the original Jason mask and fit it over his face. It's, again, takes a little bit to adjust it, but surprisingly enough, look at the big gap of this strap here. Maybe that's why they made it rubbery. I don't really know, but it's strange that they wouldn't have kept the same material. In the way of Jason's articulation, let's put his mask back on. There we go. In the way of Jason's articulation, it would be the same as the regular version Jason. He does have a ball joint, which moves up and down, left and right. See, if I just move the head down enough, it starts taking a little bit more of that wider shape, and that's really the shape I'm going for. I guess it's also because I've had it in, recently I've had it in packaging, or in the, I've had it stored away for so long that maybe it started conforming around the shape of it, and because it's rubber, that's why it's getting the distorted mask. The shoulders are pin hinge sockets, so they rotate out. They rotate all the way around. He's got a bend in the elbow, a swivel in the wrist, swivel in the forearm, I should say, swiveled wrists, swiveled waist, with a mild crunch, and then the legs hinge forward, back, and out, a bend at the knee, a rotation at the lower leg, and a rotation in the foot. Having a look now at, well, throwback-wise, we've had a look now at the Part 3s and Part 4 Jasons. Yes, Spot still will be having a look at the Part 6, and one of the reasons why I wanted to look at these figures again was kind of just a prelude to having a look at the Ultimate Jason 6. Can't wait for that. But of the 4 figures we've had a look at, this probably is my least favorite. And maybe it has something to do with the mask, just not quite gelling for me. But it's one of my least favorite Jasons, and by comparisons, I'm only comparing that to the other NECA Jasons, the other 4 Jasons that we had a look at. It still leaps and bounds over the Mezco variety of Jasons that we had for the longest of times, and it certainly is a lot better than the McFarlane Toys Jason. If you guys can find him, I would say it's still worth picking up. You can, if you're a diehard collector, get both Jasons. If you only could get one, I would honestly go with just the regular Jason and call it a day. Still, though, it's a good figure, just really expensive. If you find him online, he probably will be closer to $50, $60 sealed. So it's one of these things, if you get them when they're good, get them when they first come out. Like the Ultimate Jason 6, get them now before the value of him increases and skyrockets. Today's throwback, we were having a look at the NECA Toys Friday the 13th Part 3D Battle Damaged Jason Voorhees. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more throwbacks and other videos heading your way. Thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.